Where is he? Why can't I see it?
Oh, you go there. Which one are we joining?
Do I not have PTAC as a friend?
Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by AllReasonNoLogic.
Oh, there he is.
Experience
Join
2 or more
battle.
teams facing off in
Done.
epic
You can
scale
join off me now.
warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill.
He's already got TU7. It's the best lobby at least.
Kings start off with an
He's
economic
picked up.
bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires.
Okay.
Test out your
Maybe-
micro and defend against multiple
I'll do
players
the
and
first map
variations
setup.
of this game mode.
Okay.
Be part of the masses. Team up with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory. AllReasonNoLogic.
Put
hosting
me,
King of
the
the
three
Hill
of us,
lobbies.
PTAC
Most
and
Sundays.
Dominus in the 5.
Join our Discord to be part of the action. See you in game, commanders. Beyond All Reason fans, welcome to King of the Hill by AllReasonNoLogic. Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale
that should be
warfare,
it.
where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill.
I'm thinking quite a low bonus to start with as well.
Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught
Join the queue.
after a
bro.
no-rush timer
Oh, no.
expires. Test out your micro and defend
one
against
spot
multiple
left.
players in variations of this game mode.
Prey's not here. I think
Be
it's
part
like
of the
20,
masses.
still do 30%
Team up
bonus.
with your allies to topple the throne in a glorious victory.
Might even make it to 25%, depending who joins.
AllReasonNoLogic, hosting King of the Hill lobbies, most Sundays. Join our Discord to
We
be part of the
practiced
action.
last night, me and Dominus, on 40%. Won last night by ourselves. Tiny map.
See you in game,
There's like
commanders.
8 random people. 2 versus 8, so this is going to be 5 versus 10.
Beyond All Reason fans,
So we're in there.
welcome to King of the Hill by
Change to
AllReasonNoLogic.
It was pretty close, pretty long game as well.
Experience 2 or more teams facing off in epic scale warfare, where the Horde gang up on the Kings of the Hill.
Yeah, there's Buggerall.
Kings start off with an economic bonus. They do their best to defend an onslaught after a no-rush timer expires. Test out your micro and defend against multiple players and variations of this game mode.
That should be good. I can do here.
It's just changed. Oh no. Join the queue again. Let's see if this works. I'm gonna try it again.
So for this, it's basically where the lava is the you can't come inside.
The brown. Yeah,
Yeah.
apart from it's pretty much area 2 is pretty much it. You can't get down the bottom.
We're
The
just
only
gonna
thing
have to
that's
be very
dangerous is the people at the top.
clear on that because there's nothing
Yeah.
between to stop people.
Yep.
We
It's
need
possibly going to be shit. We just You're being very pessimistic about it. It's possibly going to be shit, but we're going to try it. Instead of the same as every week.
Yeah.
Alright, anyway.
Do we need the player limit increased?
We do. No, don't say that. We're just doing the 16. It doesn't work if we have...
Ah, okay. Don't mind me then.
To... It's like prey misses out. PTAC's going probably. Alright, you guys ready to go live?
Yes.
I don't know if Prey's talking, if he's muted, or if he's AFK. Haven't heard him in 5 minutes. BRB, lobby lagging, already set, the bosses can do it. If Prey, you tell us who you want us to go, or if you want to get it so that you're in, let us know, because I can't hear you. Do you know if he's there, Tom? Oh, he's on the phone.
Sure.
Cool. No worries, we'll just go. Alright.
Do you want to do this with just the 3 of us, or...?
No, we'll do 5.
Alright, I'm back. How does 5 work if there's only 2 positions?
I played it last night. There is technically 5 positions. I mean, we can do 3.
No, that's fine.
3 also works.
How do I get in?
I don't know. You had to join.
I mean, I clicked join as soon as we all got kicked.
Yeah.
Alright. We'll just...
I
Are you
can
cool with us going?
Pick a random
And then you play the next
and we'll
one?
get praying if you want to. More so
Yeah.
for the logistics of testing to see how it actually plays out.
I think we've just had the player limit set to 100.
No, that'll break the game. There we go. Alright, we'll just take Platinum Blonde out. Because Dominus has played this before.
Cool. Well, you should be good to go.
Alright.
I'll let you start this one if you want.
Alright, let's give this one a go.
I'm going live now, if you guys haven't already. I gotta send a request over to PTAC as well.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond All Reasons King of the Hill. We're trying a different map today, and after some lobby sim, we are going live and we are launching the game. So I hope you enjoy. We're going to be learning this one along with everybody else. Dominus and Twig are the only ones in the lobby with experience on it so far. And if you were with them last night, you probably might have seen it already. But brand new map means brand new test. Let's give it a go.
Do you want me to launch this map for us?
Yep, go for it. Do it. See if we can get a stream together working.
lots
I've
of energy. Oh, I
completely
see how this
forgotten how to
works.
do the I'll go here, and then
course you will.
one on each geo, and you're best to work your way
Welcome,
back in.
Commander.
So there,
Please
there's
choose
one,
your starting location.
there's one, and
So
then
are we allowed the mexes here?
yeah, so you can do them,
Yep.
you can do them, and technically there's a geo there and there as well,
How
which
do
we can
we-
get to. The only thing, it's hard to delineate this, so pretty much Dominus has to like stop that there.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just
for
gonna quickly
those that are
type to run.
watching, you can't come inside of where the lava circle is. Is basically how that works, isn't it, Twig?
Yeah. No. It's, you can have that geo.
Okay. So we basically get everything inside of the lava. Don't we?
Yep. So it's going to be like there. That's kind of like the no-go zone between Potato and, yeah, kind of like that area. That's the no-go zone.
The question is, what faction do I want to run as?
Okay. Don't hate me, people. It's kind of a test. Now, how do I do stream together? I completely forgot.
Where can they traverse through here?
That's right. It's in the dashboard.
Ladies and gentlemen, so we kick off in just a second. Twig has given himself the 13.6 medal in the middle of the map. Very fairly so. We'll see how the peasants go around the map. There are some pretty dense
Battle
eco corners. These spots over here are usually the normal start boxes are around this area over here, and then the same on the other side. So we should see some pretty strong pushes onto Potato, some pretty strong pushes onto Dominus. I'm not entirely sure how I lane, but at least it's not as at least it's not going to be such a big a worry as being an
I think
Eileen.
it's through here that they can get in. Just looking at where there's potentially ramps.
Yeah, but we'll figure it out.
Ooh,
We'll
that is a
figure it out. We
lot
always
of
do.
wind. That's juicy.
Oh yeah, 25 wind. What the hell?
That's kind of terrifying. I don't even know if I want
Why
this
are we even on
now.
Geos? That makes wind more efficient than Geo.
Yeah.
100% does. They're for Cerberuses.
Well, I've picked the wrong faction for that.
I will
I can
send you
send you
a
a corner.
constructor. I might just send it in a little while though.
Low power.
No, I'm going to pretty much just go straight for T2. P-Tuck, if you're listening, I've sent that stream together. You got to go to the creator dashboard, I think, to accept the invite, and it only works on Chrome or Mozilla. That way, Prey and I can share the same chat. There we go. Start sharing chat. We're just going to mute ourselves though.
Let's get this up.
Alright, cool. Hopefully that's working now.
The whole team is wasting energy.
Stay high energy. It is high. I'm just using it all. There we go. The stream chat's working. Hello, Stuart Williamson.
Some of the build locations for this are interesting.
And people just bear with us. Bear with us with the fact that we've not done this one before. It worked quite well last night. We did a 2 versus 8, I think it was. If you guys feed me metal, you'll get T2 pretty quick.
Enemy commander
Don't
destroyed.
have the metal, need the
Enemy
conversion.
commander
I mean-
destroyed.
It'll take a while.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing? Your own T2s? No.
I'm just trying to get conversion running.
Send us that metal, Tom, and you get it first.
Your team reached Tech 2.
There
Enemy
we go.
commander destroyed.
Dun, dun, dun.
Unit received.
Why am I building that many converters? We want more wind.
No, you want more converters. We all have energy.
I'm empty. I'm empty.
How are you empty?
I'll pray you're doing your own. Dominus is doing their own. Fratello's doing their
I
own.
figured
Oh, I'll pray you're getting
It
one
would
anyway.
take longer for it to walk over here than for me to build it, which seems to be the case.
Tiny map. Gee, can you type me a fusion before you go? Ah, it's alright. I'll just build my own. I need to anyway.
Okay, now I can go back to building the wind.
Halfway there. Don't forget radars, team.
We don't need radars yet. We got tons of time.
And these are ramps, just so you know, down the sides here. So they can come in that way as well. And the spiders obviously can come over your geos, but nothing else. I wonder what sort of commie ecos they got going on.
Hopefully quite big.
Are you finding that the build locations are kind of
Janky.
atrocious? Yeah. There's not much flat ground to be had.
I'm hearing shots. Accidental, most likely.
Tech 2 unit ready.
Not yet. Please.
I just stick with fusions. Play the safe game. G'day, refuse to learn. Thanks for the raid.
Thank you for the raid.
Stick around and play some King of the Hill. Separate some of this build. Question is, do I go T3 or T2?
T2.
Because it is such a short distance, that's probably the smart idea.
8 minutes. I'm doing bad.
How are you going? You got the Serb there, your fusion's about to be up. What do you need? Metal.
I've got metal. That's not a problem. I need build power.
Enemy units detected.
It'd be really good if we could somehow modify this so that you can't go down here. We almost need to make the geo a no-go zone. Too bad we can't lower something that has a common height map.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, a bit of pork, just in case. Because I have no doubt we will get raided in some manner.
That's what I need.
Tech 2 unit detected.
What I'm thinking is going to be, yeah, those geos are just going to be, we didn't have this problem last night because there was only 2 of us in the middle. It's going to be such a close encounter.
I have messed up. I'm not going to have units in time.
You have no build power over there. That is interesting. Looks like I'm going your way. Build a radar so I can at least see what's happening.
Alright. Basically off to the races.
Lava level dropping.
Okay, let's do this.
How do we do things like help Dominus? I guess we just get out and attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go up like this. I mean, he's taking care of himself.
Ah, I see. Problem.
Potato needs
Where is my
Enemy commander destroyed.
T2 constructor? I think it's gone.
My conversion.
Okay, that was a bit of a waste from me. Do I need to come and help you over there, Prey?
I mean, if they were attacking my geo, then yeah, but they seem to just be attacking my
Oh, you
metal
committed to the
storage,
geo.
Enemy commander destroyed.
which is
Friendly commander destroyed.
not overly
Okay,
a
what I
problem.
need to actually do is spam. Spam is what I need.
I need
Friendly
Oh, no,
commander
I can't help that.
destroyed.
I'm gonna go north.
Yep. Good shout.
How about I grab another metal storage? You can make me another one of these.
The whole team is wasting energy.
I can make myself one of these. And you can make me one of these. And you can make me one of these. Excellent. And then we can get ourselves one of these.
Oops. That was a bit of a waste.
You need more conversions still.
Units under attack. Unit lost.
Then I'll grab myself one of these. And then I'll get one of these. And you can build me these.
Okay. Potatoes down. That is my bad, potato. Don't leave the game though. Com bomb. That's a thing. That is a thing. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, there's not a lot of space. I also feel a little bit bad for this northern side because my geocannon does a lot of damage to friendly as well.
Overloading.
Saved my base by about 2%.
Surely you're going to change that into something else.
I don't know what I need a prude or something, don't I?
Yeah. Oh shit, I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Oh yeah,
I'm
you've
so dead.
Your
Oh,
team
there's a
reached
gap
Tech
in there. I
3.
didn't know there was a gap in there.
Somehow survived it. What is shooting me from a massive distance? Ah, is there a geo down here somewhere? I have no idea what shot me.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Let's get back online. That was so close. North of your base is possibly not fine.
That
let's get
is
some more.
almost certainly correct, yes.
Yeah, those north and south are heavily exposed, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I'm getting leaks on the north. Damn. Massively. Okay, this is not good how little I'm expanding.
Ah. I'm up.
I'm getting absolutely rooted from up here.
Ah, yeah, that'd be a problem for you. I can see that.
Probably need some help.
They're saying that the serve is hitting the outside ring, which it is, but I can't necessarily. Was the intention to be able to have those. What's it called with that twig? It can hit. Here.
Yeah, it shouldn't be able to. You just have to turn it off. You put it on hold fire. Come on, catapult, get out. I've essentially taken Potato's lane, Prey, so I need you to...
Yep.
We have very
I don't know if you're noticing the
big,
defense, but there is
wide
defense coming
fronts.
here.
Cool.
We've basically got
Come on.
three
Come on,
lanes
Metal.
to cover.
90%. So I just have to pause this for a sec. Yes, that somewhat saved me.
I don't know how I'm going to... The
Only
path
problem is I have not been ecoing at all. Now Tom is the... We're not getting out at all, are we?
It's
I'm gonna get
difficult
out.
to
Problem.
get out.
Metal
It's like
extractor
weird
lost.
pathing. I feel like I'm going to be falling shortly.
Slowly but surely, I'm gonna get out.
Okay, let's try and build some eco.
Tech 3 unit detected. Radar lost.
X3 unit detected.
I'm seeing a lot of stuff on its way.
Oh, good lord.
Okay. Problem on your south. You've seen it.
I didn't
That's
realize I can pass that way.
Weak stuff.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Radar lost.
I can't defend my stuff because they're just shelling off the
My
hill.
god, I hate fat boys so
Oh.
much.
Vanguards are in. The Vanguards
can't
are
get-
in.
Oh, okay. Let's find some things. How do I get here without going like this? Is that possible?
You gotta go. Your best bet is your best exit's there or here. This one here gets too choked.
The problem is that
Go
they're
through.
shooting off
Go,
of here.
why don't you go up there? Go up Dominus's base.
Yeah, I was trying to, but there's a lot of stuff there, and I need to defend down here. 'Cause
You
they're,
do that, buddy.
in my base.
You do that.
How come you're not getting hit from the south, bro?
Because I'm somewhat hitting stuff.
Yeah, I can't get. I need to defend my southern side, but I can't get anything there to do it.
As soon as we get out of one spot, you need different units. That's what you need.
Oh god, there's stuff here. I've got too many fronts to hold them off at.
I will fall soon. The Vanguards are going to
They
get
are
me.
building in my base.
Come on, damn it, shoot. Didn't that die?
Oh, these
Why you
can't
not
be-
die?
Damn it, okay. How do I...
On your south, Pro. Sorry, I'm leaking now.
Oh, they're shooting off of here. I can't get to them.
Yeah, I've been trying to kill that for ages. They've been up there for 6 years.
They're hitting my
have-
ego is
yeah,
the problem now,
so-
Greg. So I Can you send those Kargis up there? Now?
Where are they? Yeah, they just die the second they go up. That's why I just pulled them back
great.
from.
They're
I've
shooting
got
back, they're not
Razorbacks in my
shooting my
base.
base.
I'm,
Oh, yeah, I see it.
Ooh,
Oh, what?
nearly got them all with D-guns.
You are
I misclicked
overflowing
a bit.
metal.
yeah, I cannot send the Razorbacks up there. The second I did that, they get in my base. That's what was defending the base.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I
And they're coming
find
from below.
challenging with this map is that it has
The whole
a
team
massive
Why are you
number
still
of-
building fiends? And like you have the biggest EQ and you're building fiends.
Because I'm trying to have
Extractor
units
lost.
to basically plug all the holes, but I can't get stuff to all the fronts. Because you've got like 4 different lanes in different directions to try and hold.
All you
Well,
needed to do was build like T3, I reckon, and you would have pushed out. Anyway, my base is dead.
The thing is, you can't not hold, what's that, 1, 2, there's at least 3 different lanes that you need to be like heading in 3 distinct directions to hold.
How do we get out? We don't.
No, I think
think
we're done
we
at this
lose.
point. I'm not against calling it in a sec if you guys are. I mean, we'll let them get in and kill us first, but
Where's Prey? I'll just send him on my middle.
Interesting map.
hmm.
You never build APHIS in this, I reckon.
The challenge I had was just which way do you send the army? Because if you sent it
To the enemy.
this way, you've got nothing to stop the stuff swinging in here. And if you send it this,
Hmm.
if you send it down this way, it's a long way to get to the other 2
Yeah.
lanes.
I reckon that was your best bet on the right. You push out first. The thing is, Potato fell out quite early, so all I did was defend that lane. Because the ways to get out, I was going to go down that way, and you go that way, and I go. Sorry, and then Predator goes that
Commander
way,
under attack.
and then Dominus and
Commander
Potato
taking
just
heavy
defend.
damage. Commander destroyed.
Economy, no.
Just select all and press hold fire. Okay. That was interesting. I do feel Koth just needs the big maps. I do agree with that.
This one's a good potato. This one's a new to the rotation, so we don't have any particular rules set out for it yet. So, for example, on Claymore, con bombing is not allowed. On maps like Raptor Crater and Throne, there's a lot more leeway because
There's a lot of space you
there are
have to get
less
through to
lanes
get
to
to them.
defend individually.
Yeah. Where it's a short run to a compact base, it's very difficult to stop a con bomb at 10 minutes. Whereas when they have to cross a sizable no man's land that typically has units in it, it's a much more challenging task, which means that you can defend it with
Quick, Prey, D-guns.
The whole team is wasting metal. Friendly commander destroyed. Friendly player resigned.
Nicely done, peasants.
good job.
Okay, let's get a throne going. Tom, it's yours from here.
Alrighty, throne.
Have we opened this up to 100 players though? PTAC, where are you? Messages. Come back.
Is it just a matter
He
of
hasn't left.
increasing the player count?
Can we do that though? Let's see. If we can just do that off of event mode. I've never been able to change the.
I don't know if we can do it.
Yeah, there you go.
Next
PTAC's done it.
question.
He's done it. Let's see if it feels. Player limit 100. Done. Work. Thanks, PTAC.
I did like the early Wolverines. I'm surprised you didn't try to just target the Geo out of the gate.
Please tell me that's just me that crashed and no one else.
Whole
No,
lot
no,
of
that's the lobby that crashed.
Oh,
It hurts.
actually, a couple of people look to still be in it. What is that? Just happens to be the same map.
So jump in on me, Tom, and then we'll lock it briefly until we get the thing. I might spec this one. There we go. Tom, are you joining us?
Yeah, I'm in here.
Why can I not see you? Oh, you're in the game.
Yeah.
Got it. Guts to. Hopefully this doesn't crash again. EU7's meant to be the good one.
When you have a big chunk of people all try and join in at once, that's when it tends to stress things. So we might need to do like team size 16, 20, 25, 30 until we have a full lobby.
So chronographer, when he made that map, he's saying that he had it in his mind that that spot was neutral, where Potato and Dominus started. So Chrono, are you suggesting it's a 3 versus what would that be? 13 around the outside and a higher bonus. The problem though with that being neutral, the second the no rush goes, the kings have to walk up that windy track, whereas the peasants can just bugger. Do we host in a different server?
I also think it's a fair point that Potatoes made about the com bombing. I think that com bombing those two positions that are super close. That's why he fell so quickly, because an invisible com just walked into the middle of his base and detonated.
Makes sense. Maybe we lock
so
this before we set
it basically, yeah, in the same way that in Claymore, it's too hard to defend against something like that. I think that might be the case for this map. Still, we'll keep testing it, probably one game a week for a couple of weeks, because it does have potential, and we'll sort it out. Don't you worry. The problem with doing that, Psycho, is actually, we could probably do that. The issue comes in with lots of people joining at once, so we might actually have to do that. The other way to do it is just when it comes time to let people in, we bump them up by a couple at a time. So you go player side, you go team player limit 16, player limit 20, player limit 25, player limit 35, etc. until it's all done. Just lets the engine catch up a little bit.
At least with the last one, the peasants now are on 3 wins, King's on 4. King's been a bit in favour for the last couple of weeks. We're going to keep a tally going ever since that new update came out. Well, not the update, the setting that we use for the bonus. Hey, I kill you for fun. Thanks for subscribing for another 5 minutes. I need to put one of those
5 months.
leaderboards up there for the that is insane. I need to put one of those leaderboards up there for the #1 subscribers. Edit panels.
Could you imagine if
What do I do?
subscriptions were only for 5 minutes? That'd be terrible.
5 months, 5 minutes. How do I even do this? Add a text or image panel. I'll do it outside of a stream. I don't get much time to set stuff up outside of streams. Today I laid, I think it was 40 floorboards. That was my day. All my spare time for the week. You two don't have a life, do you? You could come and help me next time I go lay floor.
I mean, I've told you this a lot. You just have to tell me when and where. But you never do.
I always feel bad getting help from people.
Yeah, I know, because you're a word that I can't say.
A gentleman.
What is a politically correct term that I can use? Because every single one of them that's coming to mind, I can't say.
All right, PTAC, do your thing. Let's see that very slow increase of players without a crash, I hope. Oh, this is interesting. People are like one at a time being loaded in.
So the players were locked, so they couldn't even join the queue, and then increased the size of the lobby to 100, then unlocked the players, so people have to click play in order to get in now. Very, very good way of doing it. There you go.
You playing
I
as a king
has got the terminology right. Twig, you're a massive newt.
I like it. Are you playing this one, Pro?
I am not. I keep trying to be spec, but it has not been letting me.
Okay, we are going to put now every week Platinum Blonde and Rosie absolutely dominate on this map. I think we lower the bonus. What was the bonus last time? We already have our 7 kings up there on the hill. Now, Tom, with the new thing, have you added in the setting for the bonus applying to the
I just checked that.
start? Good stuff. All right, I reckon we drop this all the way down to like
22.
Maybe like 45.
45 was the baseline that we started these at.
Yeah, but this is also
So
a lot more
yeah,
kings, and also that 45 was needed to get people to the fusions. What we're trying to do is prevent that crazy escalation. So I don't have a problem with 45.
Let's
Yeah, I
do
feel like
45 then.
somewhere in that
I'm pretty
ballpark.
sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was 50 or 55. Now, who was the last king down there?
I was not paying attention to that.
I think it might have been Rebel, because I remember seeing play at the top. So just do it.
The muscle memory is real. From doing all of the 45s at the start when we did this, I'm basically I basically nailed it for the first like 3 in a row with just clicking straight on 45.
I think we're gonna take Rebel Node to Peasants.
Looking
I reckon.
You just do this tweak.
Now, who was it that we kept specking last week? They got VIP treatment this week if they rock up. I think 3 games in a row they were lined up and we moved them. Scarve. It was Scarve. Alright, 38 players in. It'd be good to get to 40 with this bonus. At least 40, 45. Jump in there, guys. I will post the rules.
The rules should be in the welcome message for this one as well.
Arbiters are off.
We'll just ensure that they're there.
I accidentally deleted all my rule copy pastes. Awesome.
Alright, I reckon we're good to go.
Let's kick it
Let
off.
me just quickly paste the old ones. There we go.
Let's get underway.
That's a very stacked Kings team.
There we go.
So they got, I reckon, 5% less than last week. We'll drop it again next week if they win again.
Correct.
Hey, Black Death, welcome.
Hey, thanks for joining. I'll be back in a sec.
Welcome, Commander.
That's shared with them now, that's why it looks the same. looks like we got some questions on the King side about the reclaim bonus, and that was, I want to say last year that got. The game had an update where the reclaim bonus no longer apply. Oh, sorry, your bonus no longer applies to reclaim. So if you're reclaiming a building that's worth 1,000 metal, you only get 1,000 metal rather than it being 1,450, like it previously would have been in this case. But we've included the bonus in the starting resources. So rather than getting 1,000 metal to start with, the Kings will get 1,450 with the 45% bonus.
One of the things that I noticed when we tested it was that on Raptor Crater, I was able to be better off at 10 minutes than with the plus 65% bonus, but it prevented you from scaling out of control, which was the goal. I quite like the change.
All right, what do we got? I might force start this one, guys. Very short, 1 minute.
Danger zone.
Okay,
Can get underway.
we're starting now.
Battle started.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to King of the Hill on Throne with the Lava Lake and the Dry Seas. Only a couple of people starting on the Dry Seas today. Everyone else nice and centered around the middle of the map. In the middle of the map, we have what has been a very powerful duo over the past couple of weeks, Rosie and a Platinum Blonde, but we'll see how they adapt to the changes today. Unlike in previous rounds with a high bonus, we now have a lower bonus but a higher starting amount. As you can see, the King's starting with 1,550 metal, but only a 45% bonus. It was one of the new settings, and I do think that it makes quite a nice change to the King of the Hill format. Joining me in the casting booth, Twig and Tank Tom. Twig particularly of AllReasonNoLogic fame, as he's the one who's been doing a lot of the streaming lately. What do you reckon the outcome of this game is going to be?
I'm regretting I suggested a 45% bonus. I think we should have done 40. There's only 40 peasants, about 5-10 less than last week, and we just saw Rosie and Platinum Blonde absolutely dominate that with the rest of the Kings as well. And there are no weak Kings here tonight. Actually, there's one player I don't recognize, but they're 30 OS, so they're not a weak player of bar. That's Perspulery. Correct me if I'm wrong there in the comments, if this one makes the YouTube. Yeah, probably should have been 40% bonus. 1% for every peasant that we've got. That's my bad if these guys just roll you.
Still, we'll see how it rolls. The reality is that there is still significantly more in the way of metal production for the peasants, starting out 130%-ish as they start rolling in. So it's going to come down a lot to the scaling. One of the things I would recommend for players in the future, even if you're not going to get any particular metal spots around the outside of the map, the players that are currently in the Dry Seas with this lower player amount probably could have been served better by facilitating co-op eco, but at the end of the day, you do need to play the way that you want to play, and King of the Hills is designed a bit around the balance of some players doing particularly well and other players getting attacked quite early.
These guys were tier 2 after 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and we are seeing slightly slower T2 transitions out of the peasants that are coming together.
Commander,
We usually see the T2 labs almost finished at the 3.5 minute mark, and we're only seeing a couple just starting to be built, except for on this top left where we've got a T2 Cortex bot lab currently.
When you don't need to worry about
producing a
building
T2
any of your own wind, you can just go straight into the T2 lab. That is quite powerful, and you can see just 2 players working together to make that happen.
I think I really like this
Commander,
tactic that Rosie and Platinum Blonde have got going. And right, exactly what you said, when you don't have to build any of your own wind, what's going to happen is Platinum's probably going to just boost Rosie up to maybe a fusion or an APHIS, and
The
then
fact that they're
go into
gonna
their own
have
units, and they won't have to defend because that will be their entrance that they push out of with whatever ridiculous power that they have produced after the 10-minute no rush
the fact that
expires.
they're basically both going to have all of their mexes T2'd prior to 5 minutes, whereas it wasn't uncommon previously that T2 lab was coming up at that sort of 4.5 to 5 minute mark.
Commander self-destructed.
That means they are well and truly on the road to being in a very strong position by that 10-minute mark. The fusion reactor is already going down.
It isn't the end of the world for them to be advancing this quickly. They don't get what used to be an additional 20% resources out of everything.
Commander
They're just sitting at plus
self-destructed.
45%, and that's quite significant when it comes to scaling. Exponential scaling is very, very different at plus 45% versus plus 65%. So hopefully they can get enough power to have a good push, but hopefully we'll also see the peasants doing a good enough job of getting through. Something to bear in mind, though, usually pushing up into these ramps requires a combination of T1 and T2 units, or an absolutely overwhelming amount of T1, because the reality is that these are condensed ramps. There is a player dedicated to defense, so that means that things like a line of ticks for vision with some T2 long-range units, Sheldons, Arbiters, something along those lines, can do quite a lot of damage. But early game, things like trying to push up there with 50 incisors is much harder than trying to do that on the Raptor Crater.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, if you're in the Twitch on the official or the AllReasonNoLogic, there is a prediction. Actually, it might just be on the AllReasonNoLogic one going on. They'll expire with about a minute left. Take your pick, kings or peasants. You can bet your channel points. Steal somebody else's channel points. There you go, Rosie, Platinum Blonde. Commie together 2 fusion reactors before Rosie then goes into the APHIS. Why did I give him 45% bonus? I am sorry, peasants. I am so sorry. Please build lots of units and just roll these guys.
Something to bear in mind that they're only about a minute ahead for the 2 fusions compared to where I would be in one of these wing positions. If going alone with the standard 65%, it is not particularly difficult to get my first fusion up at the 7-minute mark. So while they are ahead, they're not gaining that additional little bit.
That is
But one of the things we're seeing around the outside of the map is that there is not a lot of commie going on right now. We're seeing 2 labs in at the bottom left. We've seen 2 labs in the top side, and we've seen 2 labs in a couple of the spots around on the right side as well. This is the sort of thing which makes balance difficult in this map. The more players, the more it tends to balance out.
Yeah, this is tricky. You can see, I mean, if you're in the dry sea, just please call me, because it's going to take you so long to get T2. If pretty much any of the lanes fall, any of the lanes on the star fall, is your job to come online, but you're not going to be able to if you're not coming. You're only going to be at the grunt and pawn stage of the game at the 10-minute mark at this rate. But at least we do see T2s coming up for these geo positions. We've got, what have we got now? We've got an advanced geo that's well finished in one of the quadrants. I'm not going to say which one in case those kings are listening. Everywhere else though is just the T1 geo. Get that T2, guys. It is OP. Meanwhile,
definitely
Rosie,
is going to be a
up.
hard one for the peasants this time around, I think.
We do get a little bit of criticism, a lot, way too much. What the fuck, guys? We get a bit of criticism about where we set the bonuses. This is a great example of we don't know, because we've lowered the bonus by about 5 or 10% since last week on this one, thinking, oh, that'll be plenty. But then way less commie ecoing happening out of the peasants on this game. Way less. So it's going to possibly be a little less aggression out of the peasants at that 10-minute mark. Speaking of only a minute and a half left. Bandboxing that map, I'm only seeing 167 units, and almost every one of them's a tick down the bottom right of the screen. This is not looking good because there's not going to be any pressure on these kings at the 10-minute mark, which means they're going to continue to eco.
There's so little in the way of defense this time around as well. We've got 4 beamers coming down on Platinum Blonde's entrance. We've got 4 beamers coming down on the Fringe's entrance. And so far we don't have anything placed from Watch Behind, though I'm sure he will get something.
The other thing is, the Kings don't have many units themselves. Like, when it hits 10 minutes, if they had an army, looking at what we can see, it would likely be able to go and roll whichever bases it hits. But it doesn't look like we're going to see any volume of units coming out of the Kings at that 10-minute mark.
Yeah, some of the pushes that I've seen from this map at the 10-minute mark out of the Peasants would be plenty to crush all 3 of these entrances, but
Commander,
unfortunately, just the as is usual for us, none of them look like they're going to connect.
Quite interesting. We're seeing our first T3 lab coming up out of the Peasants, not the Kings, the Peasants. I believe that'll be a catapult that gets queued straight away, but we will see shortly.
And that is the 10-minute mark, and the lava dropping. Doesn't look like we're going to have any major offensives, just some ticks, just some probing ticks. They're actually
the only entrance that shouldn't be attacked as well.
The thing is, you never know that
the way.
Until you go and explore.
Oh, those beamers just reaping such a toll.
Oh, if it stayed in their Platinum Blonde's column.
You punched... I was going to say, there's enough units there that if you basically, whenever you attack a ramp, hit an edge hard. You'll lose a bunch of units, but like you can see there, Ticks do a fantastic job of getting through.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't see catapults come out. We've seen Kargis to start with. We'll see how that goes. They're going to come across a bunch of twin guards. No defenses out of our 30 OS new player purse on the top right, but building offensive defenses. Just spiders defending against potential spider attacks. They've done well. They've gone and attacked the nuke guys. J Frost, Darkwater up here coming.
Not enough to defend this one, and that's a lot of damage they've taken. And that was one of the stronger corners right now.
Resbots is going to be the way back into this, but unfortunately there goes the eco chain reacting, no spacing. I mean, we don't promote spacing units out as much as we would in a standard game, because these King of the Hill games, it's just a game of chance which where's going to get attacked. Here we go, Tigers, Quakers, they are going to easily kill any Kargis coming up over the hill here. The catapult is the way to go, I reckon. Just shoot up and over. Have these guys seen the AFS, or what have they seen? I'm just going to select the Peasants. They have seen 2 fusions. They have not. Oh yeah, the AFS is there. It is visible, so they know where to aim. They just need to get out far enough. And by rights, they can come and park that catapult down here. There's the Kargi and Psycho Pew Pew's commander defending. Get close, shoot up and over, aim at those hills, and you got to aim right at the peak. You can see he's aiming a little bit low there. You want to aim right at those peaks and get that catapult in a view that jumps up. It's got a few wind, taking out some defenses. You know where the AFS is though. Aim for that peak over there. That's what you want to go for.
These
zoom back out.
Spiders are doing a reasonable job. They've just taken out a fusion up on that top side. There's another group of them that's on their way out there to wreak havoc again. The snipers,
sharpshooters are out though.
Yeah, snipers here to take them out. They'll still get some good damage in because the sniper shots are few and far between, but there's not enough spiders here for them to push deep.
Psycho Pew Pew is going to lose their commander. Maybe. Oh, last second turnaround. No, it's been seen. Surely the Centurions are going there.
And there are those predicted catapults firing up. But good positioning on the APHIS. They are not in danger at this stage.
Will these tick? No, they won't make it in.
No,
ladies and gentlemen, this is something which definitely needs to be thought on. When you're pushing in with ticks, you saw before that it took somewhere in the realms of a group of ticks around about that big to push through. That's probably about that big. If you're pushed through with any less than that, considering that only about 20 made it through, you're probably not going to get many, if any, through. So you got to bear that one in mind. Also, attacking with other people is important too. You've got 2 players that have been making ticks. All these ticks are just running into what is essentially death. Save them, let them build up, and push them in with other units behind to try and get them in. It is hard to coordinate with many people, but trust me, it makes a huge difference if you can make one well-coordinated push.
When you're trying to push them in, rather than have them be kind of the skinny side of a long blob hitting the defenses, you basically want the fat side to hit the defenses all at once, so that there's the most number of ticks per defensive structure that they have to shoot at. Because if you give them the chance to kill a tick and then be able to shoot at the one behind it, rather than be trying to kill the 10 ticks in front of it, if you run basically 10 ticks horizontally at something, some of them will probably get through. If you run 10 ticks one behind each other at something, they'll likely all die.
One thing to note though, despite all of the despite the fact that the peasants haven't had a successful run into the base beyond that first little tick run by, the peasant economy is still well and truly ahead of the king's economy. That 45% scaling is preventing those 3 APHIS from being absolutely out of control. We are still producing vanguards at a pretty high rate at about 1 every 15 seconds or so, but that is only one area where they can attack, and the peasants can still pull themselves together and do a good attack. Because one thing about vanguards is, whilst they can be very strong at defending and being offensive, if they don't have units to back them up, they can be taken out by something as simple as ticks. You just need to push into them and make those shots not count.
And they're slow,
still
so they
harassing
can
them
only be in
all.
one spot at a time.
And that is the other thing. They do work a lot better when they are in groups.
There are a number of tigers now coming out of Maxi. I reckon they're going to push on the top right quite hard here. That's tigers and salamanders. Ticks are quite a good answer to the tigers, but not the salamanders. Salamanders, the equivalent of the armada. What's the armada?
This is what we were talking about when it came to how your attack angle matters, or what Tom was talking about with how your attack angle matters. There was just a push-in of about 30 pawns,
Commander
and
destroyed.
not a single one got a shot off on the defenses because they came in a line.
Very unfortunate the top left has been broken. We might see the first real breach of a big eco out of the peasants. We've got sprinters coming in and around these catapults. I do think that these guys did great, but what they've not done is they could see where their eco was. Did not realise that some of the fusions have gone down for Maxi. I missed that. Was that a volley or did some units get through?
I do believe that was a volley from the catapults.
Commander
They have been
destroyed.
shelling in and out of that area for quite a while, and I haven't seen any breakthrough units.
There is a
Anyone that
catapult
has
very close
Kargis
to
and
the bottom
spiders,
side there.
this is where they should be attacking through here. Like this is where when you ask where do I attack when I've got the spiders, you go wherever you've got control of the cliff. So that's over on this left hand
And you
side.
can see how those
Similarly
units
over here.
would have gone down there.
So just a little note here. We do have those catapults that have been trying to find an angle to attack over. I do always encourage using them to destroy eco when you can. But this little
Commander
fortified
destroyed.
position is a weakly fortified position. These couple of shots from the catapults are going to start allowing all the T1 units to put pressure on. If they can pick off the rattlesnake, if they can pick off the beamers, then the ability to kill low tier units is going to massively disappear.
The big
And
thing
then
is if
you
they can
start seeing.
if they take out the T1 defenses, T2 defenses don't do anywhere near as well at taking out T1 spam units. So now that most of those beamers are down, it means that T1 is going to continue to put more and more pressure onto those defensive lines.
The crazy thing
This
is
is
that
not looking
here
good on
there's
top
actually
left.
enough to run that line. If all those ticks had gone in right as the catapults had taken down those beamers, if with
left.
both sets of ticks,
Guys,
both sets of players,
Guys,
you'd be able to
don't
punch
miss
in,
the
but-
explosion.
left hand side, all those vanguards finding the Geo, and that's going to be a nice little explosion, and that's going to
That
take out one of
Peasant's
the
biggest
larger
eco.
peasant economies.
Was #1 eco for them, so that did drop them down by a few percent when that, what was that, APHIS Advanced Geo, a couple fusions, went pop. Rosie is very much online with T3, not able to spend everything at the moment. Got a lot of build power in the queue there, but they're going to start wrapping, and this is the same tactic we're seeing every week. The Razorbacks, supported by Vanguards, great D-guns out of Douchey Bag, just taking out 4 of those.
Razorback's doing a great job of dealing with any of the basically T1 and T2 units, and those Vanguards firing over the top to those juicy targets.
Commander destroyed.
So the
You've gotta
peasants
make
have
sure you
sort
have
of two options at the moment. They can either stop this, they can either dedicate to stopping this push, or they can all convert over to units and try to get the win here and now. As if they don't do one of those two things, then too many peasants will be destroyed by this push.
This is where basically if the entire right-hand side came online and started putting pressure on, those units that are flying left out of the Kings would suddenly dry up, because they'd have to respond.
Destroyed.
What moves here out of Rosie on the left, taking the Razorbacks around that cliff just to hide some of them, making it seem like they are going to attack from a different angle and then coming back. And now, as I say that, they're converting back around, going for that commander, making sure that they take out their biggest threat, and that is the commanders. This is just not being reacted to. This is where, guys, bottom left, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 peasants that just need to all come online right now. Instead, bringing an APHIS.
Needs
Yeah,
to be
and
units
this is-
over economy. Basically, the only reason you're building economy is so that you can have more units.
This is the second week in a row
Commander
that I've watched
destroyed.
this tactic work, because we've had less than 1 in 5 players react to it. And it is the same thing going on over here. We have Rob the Madman sending units up, but they're not being sent. They've been sent. They're slow units, and they've been sent late enough that they're only going to help defend the pass. This is where even players like
These
Tomsky
ticks
and
are
Alex
well and truly in on
Speed,
this bottom right.
all the players in this bottom side of the map need to react to this. But yes, ticks, as you said, Tank Tom, a large number of them pushing out here, and it does look like the foothold the peasants have had, keeping the Kings contained, is starting to run low.
Yeah,
And
real
I
problem.
appreciate the defenses that are being put here at this ramp, but unfortunately when you build defenses this far back, when the line is that far forward, you're spending resources on things that aren't assisting the actual fight.
Spiders on the right into I Killed You for Fun's base, the brown base.
Ooh,
they have seen
that's
the
a
commander.
lot
Love
of
seeing these
spiders.
punch for the middle rather than trying to clean out this wing.
Unfortunately, they
There
are
we go,
getting
there you go.
somewhat surrounded by
Commander
T2 units.
destroyed.
Com doing a good amount of
Come
damage.
back and hit those fusions.
Doesn't look like
Damn,
they've
walking
managed
into
to
the
get
pork.
anything done.
If only they didn't walk over that hill, they could have at least hit that conversion. I don't
It is
see.
what it is.
Commander
I
destroyed.
don't see the peasants. There's not, like, literally it was. I am appalled, guys. No one is coming to stop these Razorbacks. I cannot see units coming out of one base towards those Razorbacks. Not one.
I think one thing
Oh,
that sums up the start of this
No,
game.
we've got Rob the
was-
Madman's has been trying to help, but
Where's Rob the Madman?
unfortunately, sumos do not counter Razorbacks in the slightest.
Sharpshooters are the right choice, and we've got Fazado doing just
I mean,
that.
look, mammoths. To be honest, with the amount of sumos, there could have been mammoths, and quite a number of mammoths.
It was a very passive start of the game for both sides here, and the first side that basically had a assertive, aggressive push out was the Kings, and you can see that those Razorbacks are still on the march from that push, and that's really what defines who's most likely to win these games, is who organizes a solid push and keeps the pressure on.
Yeah. And unfortunately, in
And
this
the
case, it
answer
was
is the Kings. Kings are putting the
Unfortunately for the
pressure on.
peasants, in this case it was the Kings. We had very limited co-op eco, And then the first push out of the king has done a stupid amount of damage. It's taken the peasants from being ahead by about 30% in the economy to being behind by about 50%. Because one of the things to bear in mind is this isn't a push where units were continued to be constructed. This is a push which allowed everybody else to scale. So before there was a handful of APHIS in the middle. Now the kings are up to 21 APHIS in the middle of the map, which is what happens when you take the pressure off, which is what happens when the kings are able to have the pressure taken off of them.
And I mean, it isn't over yet.
Commander
Absolutely
destroyed.
everyone came on right now. It'll take the attention away from the kings, so we're just going to keep wrapping around with the Razorback Vanguard balls with ticks. Instead, yeah, if you keep ecoing, you're just going to be, you know, making our games go slower, and you won't get as many games tonight,
Commander
guys.
destroyed.
Psycho Pew Pew bringing up a interesting stat around the metal generated. I think that was from a little while ago, but yes, it was definitely the corners that ecoed, that co-op ecoed that had significantly more metal out of the peasant
Commander
side
destroyed.
overall.
That looks like a build queue that has been forgotten up on that top side there. That is a lot of T1 constructors. 125. I'm assuming that's going to be a forgotten repeat queue.
Commander destroyed.
Although I think that's something that we've all done at one point sooner or later over our journey. The Kings have done a great job this game of getting out and then keeping that pressure on. Because there wasn't much of a response to that first push, they've been able to remove pressure from the map and then just keep on rolling. And because they did it early enough, there hasn't been enough time for these dry sea players to really get rolling such that they can push back. And
So
for
the
a lot
dry
of them,
sea only comes online at about the 30-minute mark.
yeah,
Unless you co-op, at which point you can come online at about the 25-minute mark.
Commander
But even then,
destroyed.
we're seeing that Fast did co-op with the T2 lab shared, has got the 6 fusions, is building an APHIS, and even then, that economy is still only plus 50. It's one of those ones where the dry sea works really well when a player like Duffy gets out there and 6 players work together, then they can have that plus 100 metal by the 20-minute mark or so, where they can start to become a compounding force. But the thing is that if the kings get aggressive, regardless of what your plan was, you need to transition into units, because even if all you're doing is putting a tick screen
Commander destroyed.
in front of your team so that someone else can go into T2 units or T1 units, that makes a big enough difference.
yeah, if you're not in a position to make T2, T1 can be just as effective if that role's not already being filled. And if there's someone else that can
Destroyed.
cover the T2 side of stuff, then having a T1 line running through your T2 units can be a massive boon for being able to help with that push, or being able to help with holding the line.
I do believe someone accidentally left a repeat command on a T1
Yes.
lab that's building
I was just
construction
looking at
bots.
Just a casual 112 tier 1 construction bots with some
A
already
few of
there.
them have died.
Commander
cheap.
self-destructed.
Hot tip, peasants, communicate between yourselves to blow up every single commander that you own if you want to get more than one more game in tonight, because we're probably only going to have time for one more
Commander
with how long these go.
self-destructed.
Yes, as
Might
much as I
get
would
two
like to
in.
say that the peasants can come back from this
Commander
situation,
destroyed.
the
I
reality
can't
is
see
that
where the Hail
without
Mary
something
comes from at this stage.
incredibly lucky. When the peasants are this divided and the kings are this strong, it is a rough one to come back from, and with 200%, with almost 200% metal income bonus for the kings,
Just clean
it's
up at this
going to
point.
be an incredibly rough uphill fight. Which will, well, considering the army value is also 250% in favor of the kings, it is Probably not going to happen.
Yeah, there is not much happening here. Not the most entertaining game.
Commander
Still a lot of
self-destructed.
sleeping. I'm just going to keep spamming. The peasants should probably blow up their commanders. Oh, rat. M Bravo. Dead Vegan Cat. Pingo. Yarakara Jane.
Look, at this point, if you want to just run your comp
Commander destroyed.
into the middle and go out in a blaze of glory, more than happy for you to do that. But the at this stage of the
Commander
game is well and truly decided.
Do you dare Platinum Blonde? Platinum Blonde and Rosie are getting 0 bonus next time they play. Nah.
It's
What they
very
can do
strong
is
coordination
do it in
between them.
peasants.
Commander destroyed.
Being in Discord really helps. Like on my Twitch games that I've been playing, the streams that I've been doing recently, I've been getting quite a few win streaks. I think there's been, the biggest one I got was 12 wins last week in a row. And I think it's mostly just because almost the whole team that I'm on Discord together, it makes such a difference.
Coordination does help quite a lot.
I'm quite bossy too, which isn't a great thing.
No, that doesn't sound like you at all.
Okay, alright, what are you
Commander
doing?
destroyed.
Get your other com dead. Oh, he's walking them in like a champ. I like it. Where is the last com? M Bravo.
We got top right and bottom left. There's the last 3.
Commander destroyed.
Yep, top right we got M Bravos. You've just walked past them, guys. Alright is trying to... There you go, he's been seen.
Yeah, seeing
Commander
up there.
destroyed. Commander destroyed.
Hey.
And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That was a strong play out of the Kings, but I reckon it was definitely winnable by the Peasants if there'd been a bit more co-op eco and a little bit less dry sea
Battle
scaling.
ended.
I don't think 45 was too far off of the mark for balance, but it just looked very much so that way because of the...
Honestly, if you just had one more commie eco like we saw at the top left out of the peasants, if there was one more of those anywhere around the map at that scale, I reckon that could have been enough to put the pressure so that...
I think
because
the
Rosie
defining
just got to focus
factor
on that.
is the damage dealt graph. I can't see any blue before about 15 minutes.
Alright. Are we doing this one again, or are we doing Raptor Crater? We've only got 45. I think we're staying here.
But we might cycle the Kings out so that anyone else who wants to have a go in Kings can.
Let's not remove their bonuses so we can see it. When you need... Okay. I'm just going to go 44s for the new ones so we can identify them. Sushi bag.
Yep, if you want to be a king, just join the Kings team.
Come on, guys. Where'd you go? I'm going to start picking people and just see if they decide to move themselves back out. Okay, that one. Rebel node. There's your 2. You can move yourselves back out if you really don't want to. But we encourage 7 new kings. Two more guys, two more. Step right up. Anybody apart from someone that's never played the game before. Who's going to be the last one? Thanks for jumping down there, Avalons.
I'm going to start removing the other bonuses now.
No worries. Now, Kings, let us know in Twitch or in the game chat. What bonus do you want? Do you want less? Do you want it to be more of a challenge? Because we had 40. There we go, Dead Vegan Cat has jumped down. 44.
All right, let's have a look through. I honestly think that the bonus is okay at 44 because
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a pretty drastically different game this time around.
Yeah, I think we'll get a bit more coming. I mean, you can see the top of the list now. There's about half the peasant. About half the
In
peasants
fact,
are
I
above
think
20
it might
ice.
even be worth jumping it up just a fraction because we do have 15 more peasants than last time.
Happy to. They are all very experienced. What do you guys reckon? About 47, 48? Done. I'll start in the middle. Done. We'll get a ring.
All
We'll
right.
start.
I think we can put a ring in there. Nine people needing a ring. Oh, it's a big number.
Just making sure we didn't leave any bonuses behind. Thank you for removing those, Tom.
And I'm going to start specking people in a second here. Got a couple of rings, so that means that it's time to get on going.
That's the rules. And good for a 4-start when you are ready, Tom. You're the one to do it.
Yep. Let's go.
Second you guys jump in, make sure you press ready because I'm going to spec you. That's the way to do it in this.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep specking people, Tom. You just keep trying to 4-start. You guys need to ready yourselves up faster than I can spec you. All right, we're good.
There we go. Now I've unlocked that lobby again so that people can rejoin.
Yep.
While we wait, I'm just going to play a little clip while we don't speak.
Welcome, Commander.
Who knows what that was about?
Alright. This is already looking like it's going to play out differently.
Yeah, just the communication before the game starts. But hey, if you get good coordination out of the Kings as well, if they eco up to T3, they'll just roll. They have the tech advantage. Oh yeah, I didn't do the predictions. Thanks, Chrono. Choose outcome. The Kings won the last one. Was that 3.1 thousand channel points went to those that voted for the Kings. I'm going to give you 10 minutes this time to vote. For those who don't know what that is, so prediction is up. You can choose either Kings or Peasants going to win. You can choose how many channel points, which you earn from watching these streams, you want to bet against that prediction. And if you get it right, you steal an equal percentage as everyone else that voted the same way you did of the losing voters' choices points. One I saw the other week, I saw one person vote for the less popular team with just one channel point, and yeah, earned them pretty quickly. And the other team vote had something like 80,000 channel points. So if that happened to be an upset, which it wasn't, that one player would have got an absolute bucket load of channel points. Already Peasants looking like they're in favour.
I think that we might look at kicking this one off.
I'll post it in chat. There's going to be one king that, peasant that spawns out. They didn't load in. Oh well, their funeral.
Well, will likely need to be a Control D once we get underway.
I did the code wrong. I'm doing it now again.
Battle started.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to King of the Hill on Throne with the Dry Sea and the Lava Lake. You're joining us after the Peasants have come off from a loss, so they've grabbed an extra, I think, 18 people, and they're going to try and take on the Kings. Let's see if we can't get a little bit more co-op eco out of the Peasants, and hopefully some good damage on the Kings. The question is, will the Kings be able to hold up if there is that little bit more aggression that there should be? Looking like a good distribution around the map today, with a good amount of players in all of the co-op spots, and the Dry Sea with approximately the same number of players in it as last game, despite there being less than 20 people or so less. Joining me in the casting booth, Tank Tom and Twig, as always.
Oh.
Evening all.
I was just trying to get some cinematic shots.
This time.
Baby Nuke in the middle for eco this time. I don't know, I've seen Baby Nuke on the top of this hill, so are they going to take the same build order as last game? Rosie and Platinum Blonde, what they do, they co-op eco, and the central player does not build one wind. They just go straight into their T1, straight into their T2, and get fed that energy from one of the other players. But in this case, going alone. Short on energy as a result.
I do think there's actually quite a few little energies that have been sent over. 2 from GY, 6 now from Skyderfox, 2 from Avalon's. little bit of sharing across. I actually don't mind that. If everyone sends the player in the middle a couple of wind, it can make a big difference. Metal going to them as well, it looks like. So pushing that T2 out nice and early, it is going to be around about 210, same as last time.
I don't mind that. Yeah, you're right. Like team effort, eco makes more sense than just two people doing it. And what I also like to see is that central king sending out their T2 constructors to the 3 defending ramp players, but then I like to see the 3 players on the wing. Xena, Gaia 06I. Why?
Love to see that.
Pronounced something.
Tapping the mechs on the way out and then handing off that constructor.
Bro, that's bar 101. Everyone knows that. Come on.
It is still good to see.
So many people don't do that though. That's me making fun of, but that so many people don't do that. Whenever you are a tech, you should tap one of yours, build it whilst you're also building another constructor, or if you can't afford to build it, get your 1 mechs up, share the T2 con off, and then build another one.
Because that means that all 3 of these ramps are going to have T2 mechs basically completed by that 5.
Just make sure you have enough energy to run them while you're building your next set of stuff.
Right, it is 3 minutes. Last game we saw T2 up at 2 minutes 10. Out of the peasants we saw it at about 3.5 minutes. Around now, we are well ahead of that for the bottom left. We have already one of the mechs is coming up. T2 is going out to upgrade Geo. Looking over to the left now, we've got a T2 coming up out of the fridge. Moving a bit further north, where we saw lots of eco last game. We've got T2 up. We're seeing Commie Eco almost everywhere. There isn't any on this top middle though. They are still T1. And then over the right, Alex Speed and friends just going into the detonation there. I like what people do now. They detonate their commanders right on the edge of the build power, so you don't have to send a resbot out there. Or you could just do both. And then Dominus getting that advanced geothermal up already. Shout out to Dominus in these Twitch streams with me quite often these days. Okay. What do you guys reckon? What are we going to see? What's the result going to be?
I'm liking what Wizard of Hog is doing. That's going to shift the balance at 10 minutes, if anything comes his way, pretty significantly, which is good. The reality is that the players in the players that are on the ramps should be working on their way into defense, but this is key. It's too early.
Defenses after you've got enough eco to build them comfortably, which basically means get a fusion up, have T2 mexes, then go ham on building as many defenses as you can.
Yeah. You don't need much in the way of T2 defenses. You can get away with some sort of heavy hitter, whether that's a long-range rattlesnake or short-range pop-ups. You just need enough of that to deal with any sort of big threats, and then some beamers. That's realistically all you need, and any metal that you invest before getting your fusion, it just slows down that fusion. You can do things like reclaim to get it, but the reality is one fusion with the plus almost 50% is good enough to run your defense. And once that defense is up, then you can go into scaling, into units, that sort of thing. Does look like Baby Nuke is doing quite a good job in the middle. One fusion already up, second one almost there. Does definitely need the conversion though. Is currently producing 3,000 with only 1,000 of that being consumed. You definitely need to weave that conversion in. T1 conversion is good, but the reality is that right now that overflow could be nice, juicy metal, which can make a difference as the game goes on.
Yeah, King of the Hill varies quite a bit from standard 8 versus 8s in that you gotta times your most precious commodity for kings rather than the efficiency out of these T1 converters that only cost 1 metal each. Sometimes it's just way easier. Whack down the T2.
The thing is, for King of the Hill, as a king, you need to have time-efficient builds more so than metal-efficient builds. If you've got the resources available, burn them to do something quicker.
Have we got
Yep.
any commieing around in the dry sea? We haven't spoken about the dry sea players. Last game we saw no one commie eco. They just went solo for the whole game, produced 1 unit between all 15 of them and did nothing. That's
we've
an
got fish
exaggeration.
The thing
There's
is
fish
that going around the dry sea, you really only need 1 T2 for each corner, because the reality is that the time it takes you to build a fusion is incredibly slow. Work together to pump one out and then another, scale it all into one person's eco, and you can actually do some crazy things.
Commander
We've seen
self-destructed.
APHIS before 10 minutes with, I think it was 6 players working together in one corner, because that's how much
Commander
metal comes from your
self-destructed.
starting 1,000, from your comms detonating, all that sort of stuff, and that
tell
turned
you
into
what.
a very big power push.
Idea, Prey and Tom. In one of these, instead of sitting out and casting out, why don't we, the 3 of us, go sit in a dry sea and demonstrate how to do that commie eco between 3 players?
We would, but I don't think Tom knows how to do commie eco.
This is true. So many games we had these great tactics. It's like do nothing but share your eco. LLTs, couple bots.
Tom,
some
why do you have
planes.
20 wind? I'm scaling. Oh dear.
Normally I spend the entire time dumping the energy across to you while we're going.
But that's a great mindset, but the mindset takes away from the fact that you've spent how much metal building those winds, even though it's producing energy. Metal, a little bit more precious in Beyond All Reason. It
That's
is
right, we'll teach.
1.5 minutes left.
We'll teach you. We'll teach you.
What's the King's tactics here? We've got Guy 06Y going into the offensive defenses as well, the Recluse. Instead of building towers, which I heavily promote, either beamers or twin guards around the edge of these wings. Oh wow, all players going into spiders. I don't mind that. Like, if there's enough aggression coming out of these Kings, they're not going to need to defend.
Look, I'm just gonna be honest, Dead Vegan Cat, I need to look at your build, because 4 APHIS by 10 minutes is terrifying.
Fusions.
Fusions.
Oh, sorry,
They're
fusions
cheap.
by 10 minutes is terrifying. But there's also a big risk with that little in the way of defenses.
You've
No
got
And
these
also how
things.
close those fusions and how dense those fusions are.
Yeah.
Let's just
no
bandbox this. We had 167 units out at this stage of the game last game. This game, 500.
600.
That's how quick it's going.
Sorry,
620.
much better. Much better this time. With
This is
15
how
seconds to
peasants should
go.
play.
Let's see how this one runs.
Remember to get those predictions in. I think that's just about expired, actually. You got like 20 seconds left.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the lava has receded, the 10-minute no rush is gone, and the players are heading on out. We're seeing a spider attack coming straight from the bottom half of the map and the left side, but we've got a large force of units coming up the middle, and it has been spotted. Dead Vegan Cat does have the opportunity to do something about this, but the question is, what are they going to do about this? This is a
There's a lot of
39
Way
units
to
on the
deal with
way.
this. One very quick way to get rid of this.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
Destroyed.
That is the best possible
Good
option.
call. Good call.
I don't
right there.
want to
That is-
miss the mines being used. You can see Rebel Node trying to walk their commander in. They've just been seen.
Commander
That's actually
destroyed.
going to wipe out some of the mines.
Who's
So
going
that
to clear the
was
mines?
Mhm.
Spiders,
wasn't
though,
terrible.
doing a good job getting around the map, though they are invading areas that are not overly eco-efficient. So while the spiders are doing a good job, they are
On
struggling
the
to
north,
push
they're doing
in.
alright.
Top side, Oodles has
Commander
just managed to
destroyed.
take out a lot of the spiders, but there are plenty left to do
Oh, no.
enough damage to clean up this top side.
We got
No
to keep
units
an
coming
option.
out, no
Look
defenses
right, look
either.
right.
Oh.
Commander
Dead
destroyed.
Vegans, Dominus in.
Oh
their
no,
commander.
Dominus.
Commander destroyed.
Oh,
That's
that's all the
essentially
defenses gone, though.
defenses gone.
And we
this
do
is a
see...
large, massive units on their way.
Oh, what? Who's this player here? This is Rebel Node. Has seen that is the weakest lane. Gone away from where they're spawned, and they're just going in. This could be game over for the Kings. You can
And
see
that's
right now
punching
the
straight through
reaction
for
out
the
of Baby
center.
Nick slightly slow.
A lot of them are going to go down, but there should be enough to wipe out that conversion.
Yep, that's
yes,
plenty
yes.
right there.
And
And he
the
got the
build
build
power.
power. Build power is huge, and while that was happening, Dead Vegan Cat losing the front as well.
And now that that
And the
side is
crazy thing is
open,
that it's not even like that was the worst defense setup
Oh,
we've ever
look south.
seen. There were
Look south, it's happening again. Maxi's comm in the base
Commander
and
destroyed.
taking out some more defenses.
And so we're seeing the peasants using the tools they have available to them to really put the pressure on. The question is, how could Dead Vegan Cat have defended against this one? Because they did a lot of the right things. 6 beamers. They got a whole bunch of the lightning turret pop-ups as soon as they saw things coming along. But unfortunately, the just sheer mass of stuff just was a little bit too much.
Retrospective look at it is just one less fusion probably and more into pork and units.
Possibly.
I would say units and
Commander
occupy the
destroyed.
space that's not on your ramp. If you can occupy
Yeah.
the space at the ramp below you, then that buys you a whole lot more time. If you're trying to defend from your ramp, if they manage to crack it, they are in the base like they currently are. Whereas if they break you on that no man's land, you've got a little bit of time and space to use to get the rest of the answer up and running. Whereas if the answer is on your doorstep and it doesn't work, then you end up in this situation.
I also
6
think that this is
V2.
one of the first times in a very long time we've actually seen a T1 with short range T2 push actually punch a lane at 10 minutes.
It was
Usually
a
we see that
good
happen.
coordinated push that managed to
Yeah.
make its way in. They didn't try and
We
take
usually
the
see attempts, but we don't
Yeah.
usually see it actually break through.
Commander
They
destroyed.
did a good job of not trying to take the entire ramp. They basically picked a side and punched. So rather than dealing with all of the defenses, they only had to deal with sort of half of them.
I'd
Peasants,
actually
you
be
do
quite
this again and
curious how
again.
much metal
You'll get a few
was
games
thrown
tonight.
into that attack.
Well, let's just look around. There are so many units. Just zoom out and look at the stream
Oh,
of
yeah.
units coming from the bottom 2/3 of the map.
I think that there is
so many players are building units.
I think that there is at minimum twice the number of T1 and T2 units we see in a normal game at 10 minutes.
Commander destroyed.
So this is obviously very well coordinated, promoted between the
Commander
players to just build
self-destructed.
units. And the Kings have realised that they have just received one of the fastest ever throne defeats that we have seen.
Battle ended.
Fantastic aggression and brilliant use of those commanders early for breaking those defensive lines.
Also, look at this this damage dealt graph. We have 1, 2, 3, 4,
That is a lot
5,
of blue.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 peasants that got their aggression on.
That's only the ones that are visible at above about 5,000
Yeah.
damage. So there's probably even
And
more that did small damage with the
The fact
ticks.
that you can see
Well-
so much blue by that 11-12 minute mark, whereas last game we didn't really see any blue until the 15-minute mark or so.
Well, the other thing to bear in mind is that for a bunch of those peasants, like, say, for example, this bottom right-hand corner with Team Newt with Rosie, they only would have gotten damage from damage numbers from a couple of those players because they commie ecoed. Same goes for each one of these wings, so it's probably closer to 30 to 35 peasants getting their damage on, if you count co-op eco peasants in that mix. But that was a nice, quick game out of the peasants, and it does show just what happens when the peasants do get that aggressive. We've seen it a
Yeah.
few times before, but if the peasants get aggressive in large enough numbers, there is actually no way for the Kings to win.
Peasants. Units are the meta.
Are we jumping onto a Raptor game to close us out?
I think we
Let's
might be
do
jumping
this.
onto a Raptors game.
And if the peasants make it that quick again, you might even get more than a Raptors game. All right, well, Tom set someone up. I'm just going to play another clip again for no reason. Radith, do you not have those clips? Thanks for following Flames. Now, for anyone that is confused about where to build defensive structures, jump over to our Discord. I'm going to paste a link into the description, into the in-game chat.
I made a bit of a
in the
graphic
general chat,
so that you can see where defenses are allowed to shoot up to. So the blue line is where the peasants' defenses are allowed to shoot to. If they shoot beyond that ring, then they're built too far forward, which is essentially the color change at the bottom of the ramps. For the kings, they can shoot to... where is it? There's a slight color change near the bottom of the ramps that they can shoot to. So like I said, the bottom quarter of the ramps they can defend, but they can't hit the top of the hills. So that gives us a very clear visual representation of exactly where your defenses can shoot up to, and if they're shooting beyond that point, then we'll be looking at removing players. But just so that we remove the confusion.
So that's clear. If you are a peasant, don't shoot past that blue line. If you are a king, don't shoot past that red line on the Discord chat. We should just bring that up into the stream. That would be the smart thing to do. Can I? I'll save that as...
What bonus are we looking at for this one?
I'll bring it up next week. Can't be bothered doing it now. Let's see. Who have we got as kings? Of course, we got Platinum Rosie down there. We are going to go low. Platinum has not lost in like a month, or Rosie. So we're going to keep it low.
Where the original bonuses were being set at the 45s.
Yeah. So we'll go. Let's go. Should we be bullies and lower Platinum and Rosies and no one else?
Yeah.
Done. That's what we're doing. Oh, we slipped. Whoops. And guys, there's quite a few there, you guys in Twitch. Make sure you press that follow button for the official and ours as well. And if you're watching the opposite stream, jump on the other one and hit the follow as well. So everyone's getting the love. We are here every week doing this.
We're up to 71 peasants.
We might need to go a bit higher than that.
Alright, maybe we'll just put Plat and Rosie up with everyone else. Let's go 50. At least. Or do you reckon even higher?
I think 50. I'll start at the top.
I wish you could do apply to everyone.
Yeah,
I love that.
I recognize enough of those names, so that'll be fine.
There we go. I think we're good to go with that.
Get underway, so we'll give everyone a moment, and then we will look at specking people.
Okay. Rules for Raptor Crater, a little bit easier. It's just no offensive structures. And of course the no rush 10-minute timer. All right. One Spanish friend that is getting spec. Sorry,
And
taking
there we
too
go.
long.
That was easier than last time.
Let's get another prediction going on the AllReasonNoLogic Twitch. I wish I could do it on both at the same time. Unfortunately, we do not have mod privileges on the official. So if you want to do a prediction, jump over to ours, but keep that one open too. So Psycho is predicting that the Peasant's going to win this one, which will end Platinum Blonde's really long streak, as well as Rosie's.
Welcome, Commander.
You do realize, as Platinum's saying with confidence, you are betting against us, huh? In the Twitch chat, he's going to be playing to the best of his ability. I really hope you guys win him. Otherwise, I'll beat him. Otherwise, I think his head might explode. Just remember, Psycho, a new rule has been applied where the kings get the bonus starting resources also. It really makes a huge difference in where they're at the end of the 10-minute no rush, and that is because they're able to afford to get that first construction tower up without bottoming out on metal, whereas of course with the 1,000 start you're going to bottom out and have to eco a little bit before you can get that up. Makes a massive difference. We used to do 65s. This actually, back when the reclaim bonus was around, this used to be around the 50-55. So we're pretty much spot on, just with some very experienced kings.
The intent of lowering the bonus is to prevent the with the bonus at plus 65. I made an Excel a while ago, but it essentially, the speed at which you can scale once you have your first APHIS is absolutely insane. It is properly insane. It gets to the point where you can go from about 250 metal per second income to 2,500 metal per second in half the time it took you to get your first APHIS. So if you get your first APHIS pre 10 minutes, then by 15 minutes you can have close to 2,000 metal income. Whereas on a plus 45, it is significantly harder to balance building enough units to defend to get that, to get the eco out, to eco and units. Whereas when you're at that plus 65%, that initial boost, even if you have to build units, you just have so much more to work with. But at the end of the day, we will keep modifying the bonuses as needed. And if today is a particularly heavy aggression day, then it's very hard to balance against that, because we haven't, as what happened to last game in Throne, that is more offensive units out of the peasants than I can remember seeing on Throne.
I'm going to force start this one, guys.
Battle started.
G'day and welcome everybody to King of the Hill on Raptor Crater. We've got some heavy hitting kings in the middle of the map, but we also have 70 peasants around the outside as well. So this should be a pretty interesting one. We've tweaked the bonuses a little bit because of the changes to essentially giving a bonus to the starting medal, and we'll see how that one plays out for everybody. Good number of peasants around the corners in the co-op spots as well, with the top right hand side being the heaviest. But the reality is that there is only a couple of co-oping people around the other corners, so we may see some strong corners, we may not, we'll find out. Joining me in the casting booth, Tank Tom and Twig. Let's kick this one off.
I'm really doing my best to try and make the Kings lose. We were talking pre-game. Rosie and Platinum Blonde are on a huge win streak. They keep winning if they're either Kings or Peasants. They are so good at co-oping together, and they're quite often the factor of being the first to break lanes. So Peasants, do your thing, build your units, and roll these guys. Don't pussyfoot around. Come 6 or 7 minute mark for these guys around the ramps. Build units non-stop for the last 3 or 4 minutes of the no rush period, and then those guys in the corners, make sure you're comming. So many guys aren't doing it. Top right though, you can see here, these guys are doing it. Already going into the T2 lab. Maxi, Jaleo, good stuff. Everyone's feeding these guys the metal. Other corners, if you're building your own lab, you can see down here on the bottom right, we have 3 labs between 3 players. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, that's a lot of lab. That's a lot of lab right there.
Same's happening on the bottom left and the top left. If you guys are not sharing your eco, you're going to take a lot longer to get a T2 up. It really is great to capitalize on commie eco in those corners, because you are the factor that needs to come online to counter the T3 when it comes out of these Kings.
So it
or
looks like
Peasants build units and win straight away.
looks like for the first time tonight, it's going to be the Kings it's going to be the Peasants that have the first T2 factory up of the match. So that's a pretty big difference compared to what we've been seeing before.
Commander,
Now the bonuses, we've got 50% bonus for the Kings. We have capped these guys by an extra 5%, these two. And as Prey was saying, we've now got the rule where we've got a bonus to their resources they start with. So previously we had that reclaim hack. When you reclaim something, you got the bonus on that reclaim. That's been turned off, and that's now being counted by that increased resource at the start of the match. Really
one of the things we noticed when the reclaim hack got taken out, our bonuses went through the roof. We were looking at reasonably balanced games at between 50 and 60%, and then it started becoming things like 65% as a baseline.
Yeah, and what that meant was if the Kings managed to defend at the start, those first pushes, they got to that like juggernaut, behemoth, titan stage of the game so much faster than we previously saw. But we also had to give them that high bonus. Otherwise, at that 10-minute mark, they had no units and no eco. So yeah, it was really tricky to balance it for those couple of months. And this has really helped out by adding this extra starting metal. We've been able to revert back to the stage of pre-update where you just get that bit of extra metal at the start. It gets your construction turret up without bottoming out on metal. And that makes a real big difference for these guys.
And it drops us back to those bonuses that we basically balance these maps around in the first instance back in the good old days when we started this. God, how long ago was that now? Year and a half? Yeah?
Too long.
Been a while.
It's been a while.
At least now we're seeing on the bottom right, we're seeing commie eco for the 1 T2 lab. But Pyro, what you want to do is reclaim that vehicle plant and send that metal through to Rhodey.
Yeah, that's a second.
I take that back. I just zoomed out and I thought, oh no. And what I hate is that this is in Platinum Blonde's lane. So, oh god, don't let him be the reason for the win again.
Oh, he's definitely going to be. But at least the front line here is packed full of players that look like while they might not be getting aggressive, I think that they'll have enough to hold an early game push if there is one. Though the Platinum Blonde Rosie style is not the early game push. It is the Razorback Vanguard.
Yeah, they won't hit you at 10 minutes, but come 12 minutes, they'll hit you pretty hard.
Yep.
So, counter to that, I mean, if they got the ticks, it's pretty hard. If they don't have the ticks, you want to go those the sharpshooters, the starlights.
Well, yes.
And use your commander.
But you can also counter that. Like Razorback Vanguard is actually countered metal for metal by ticks. as crazy as that sounds, ticks trade
Commander,
really,
self-destructed.
really well with just about everything.
As long as you're not feeding them in one at a time. Even
Yeah,
if it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
very
Throw
quick
them
one
in
line behind
all at
that.
once.
Wait till they get up the ramp and then close them in with a massive concave so they can't escape. And you will crush them with ticks. Ticks have so much DPS for their cost.
I'm just going to remind it in game, there are no offensive structures allowed.
So, for those of you listening, what that means is that if you are building a defensive structure, you have to make sure that it is built not in range of your opponent's stuff. So, as a peasant, make sure that your defensive structures do not range past essentially the color change point in the ramps. If you're a king, make sure that yours are not going up onto that high ground area. Yes, mistakes do happen. I've made a mistake. I built a beamer that could hit something because someone built a radar on the front line. It is, that sort of thing is not the biggest of deals. It's when you build something like an artillery that can hit on through. Another thing to bear in mind is things like Junos, things like catalysts and EMPs. Those count for those rules. So when you build them, just don't use them offensively. If someone's coming at you with a Thor, yeah, stun it if you can.
We used to do a gentle reminder through the games. Don't do that. Now it's just a right click. Sorry, wait 15 minutes and you can come back and join us again for the next game because it just happens too much. All right, Rosie reclaiming that T2 lab to afford the second and third fusion. I think we're seeing a replica of the Throne Rush where these guys go and build all their eco together. All the build power goes on together and then they go and share one fusion each before going and doing their own eco. And this is insane. These guys have 5% less eco bonus than all these other guys and they have the biggest eco by far. In fact,
that is what happens though, and that is one of the reasons they have that 5% less. And don't worry, that isn't something that will happen in every single game, but if they are the reason for winning a previous game in the night, they will start getting stacking debuffs that'll apply to absolutely everyone. If you are an incredibly dominant player and you absolutely crush, then if you want to be kings again on that same night, then you may be down 5% bonus for the next one.
Slightly disappointed. I'm seeing a lot of T2 labs out of the peasants then instead of units.
Yeah.
We've even got people telling others to cancel them and just go into units. Units win these, and right now there is a minute 30 left, and there's so many King's lanes that aren't defended.
There's 4 T2 labs in the bottom right-hand corner. There should be 1. That's 12,000 metal in T2 labs.
I think the peasants are going to be in a very strong position at this 10-minute mark.
Oh,
you reckon they're going to be in a strong position?
I'm seeing
I think that was sarcasm.
No, not necessarily.
It wasn't. He's looking at the top. He's looking at the top right lane.
Fusions for the most of the kings, and not a lot of units and not a lot of defenses.
Half Fury is oh dear.
Yeah, while the peasants may not be in the strongest of positions, if they can coordinate, they are not out of this game at all yet.
If Jalio and that come online shortly, sending T2 down there, like frick, they're Armada. They're sprinters right now. If sprinters rush down there, they would they'd just absolutely insanely push per Fury.
Something to bear in mind, when a peasant falls, it's 1/70th of the team falling.
Battle paused.
Oh, we've got someone breaking a rule, it looks like.
Look, I'm not too concerned.
We just
10 seconds to go and units part.
It's an accidental. Yeah, it's an accidental. Let's get a resume, guys.
Whereabouts did it happen?
It's on the far right. It's just a T1. It's a unit.
It's a shell shocker firing
it. Shell shocker.
Some rascals.
Anyway, as I was saying, if you attack the kings and they lose 1/9 for every king that you kill, but it's actually worse than that because they're so condensed. it takes away more than a ninth.
10 minutes
Okay,
is up.
so
Let's
Virus
watch this top
EXE
right.
has not fixed the problem, so I'm sorry, Virus, but you are...
At this point, it's now.
Oh, it's
fair.
10 minutes, actually, it's alright.
Yeah.
Let's just
But
keep an
the
eye
big
on this.
attack is coming up from the top of the map,
Top right and
this
top
is
left.
a huge problem.
This
This
is
is a
where
huge
Rosie
problem.
probably needs to react to this instead of going into
We're
that
now
AFIS.
seeing responses out of the Kings, but not a lot of reaction to this top right push. And this is going to crash on through this middle section here.
That is so many units. Just this one corner right now, there's still over 250 units just in the King's side of the crater.
So that is
This
Fury's
is-
base entirely wiped. And these units are going to continue flowing through this center here. Most of these units going down to conversion.
I like Douchey Bag's reaction, just building the walls. T1 doesn't get through the walls.
Commander destroyed.
It's not a bad response for a relatively low metal cost. 200 metal.
So people are asking, how do you react to that? Pounders and defenses at the front gates.
Units.
Yes, it looks like a lot.
Commander
You would be
destroyed.
shocked how much things like fiends, how much things like pounders, things like pop-up turrets absolutely destroy.
Oh no.
It does look like we've also had a second push in at the bottom of the map as well, with the fringe getting overrun and units coming in. This looks like it's going to be a complete wash for the Kings at that 10-minute mark. It is
I think
possible
they've-
for them to stabilize, but it is looking
I reckon
incredibly
this commander is
unlikely.
in. Wow.
These are some
Big old
aggressive
trades.
commanders on this bottom side.
You know what this is? This is last game in Throne. The peasants were really aggressive
Destroyed.
and won,
Yep.
and they've just replicated it. That's all that's happened. They've replicated
If the
their
peasants are
units.
aggressive at 10 minutes, if there are any gaps in the defenses, they will find them and they will capitalize on them.
And that's the thing, because there were no radar jammers, they knew that there were no defenses because they had a radar there. They knew that they had an open lane in, and that's why that lane got so many units built on it.
I tell you what though, Platinum and Rosie is still in this. I think that AFIS needs to. It's not being built. It's slowly being built.
Commander destroyed.
The build
Um,
power, unfortunately, looks like it went down.
If this one lane didn't fall here on next to Platinum's lane, I'm not too sure whose that was. They probably would be okay. I actually think they might still probably be okay. There are units coming to save the day from. How do you pronounce that? Evangelions.
Evangelion.
Yeah.
Evangelion.
You obviously are not even remotely versed in Japanese culture.
Only been there 4 times, but it's for the skiing.
This is a very rough spot for the Kings to be in, but as you can see, this top side, it is just pounders and rascals that are stopping anything else from coming in up here. That's all it takes is the right kind of units to clear something like this up. If the Kings can stabilize, there's so much reclaim on the ground here that they will be able to build
These
up very
ticks
quickly, but
Are going to
it's
reap
just
it
not
all.
looking like it's going to happen, because the defenses in front of Evangelion are getting ripped to shreds because his units are heading up to try and defend what is the last bastion of strength, which is Rosie. We do have good defenses up here out of Hot Potato and out of Watch Behind, 2 players that are very
the
accomplished
madman's
in
being
this.
a madman in Platinum Bronze base, just digging under fusions.
Oh
Big on the
dear, yeah,
T2.
that's a problem right there. And as you can see, this second big push was taken out mostly by a comm just there. And unfortunately, though, it is going to be rough to keep cleaning this one up, because the opportunity cost of units that now have to be sent up here to deal with it is going to be very, very high. And we are seeing the Arbiters and the Shell Shockers pushing into Evangelion's base. That's going to be yet another bastion ticked down. I Kill You for Fun is doing a good job of holding his lane, but unfortunately we now have all of the overflow of units from other lanes coming out as well, and they are going to grab. Oh, they just managed to keep
Prince
the
is so good.
converter
in the
alive.
middle of the base. Unfortunately, though, they're going to run into beamers and pop up pitballs, which will take them out very quickly.
Yes, but this is the biggest problem that the Kings are about to have. The Arbiters are now in the center of the map, and there is nothing that's going to outrange them or stop them at this point in the game. Not with how much T1 is sitting around them.
Rosie trying to get some Razorbacks out, and with the what's that, 5 of the Lazarus in the background, just reclaiming metal to feed
that
these.
Aphis
It'll
is
actually
dead.
do it pretty quick. That is dead.
Oh,
With
it
one more
survived.
One more volley, though.
15%. I was just short. Needed 2 more. But there we go. That is the majority of the King's eco taken out right there. So
Alright,
it does
maybe
look like
5%
that
bonus.
with the
wasn't
level
nice.
of aggression that's happening tonight, the Kings are going to need a bigger bonus.
It's just so you chop and change every week.
Yeah, I couldn't, like last week, I could not have imagined the peasants doing this.
The thing is, you can see that was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lanes all held well.
Yes.
What was that? 2 got punched really hard and they collapsed. If the peasants hadn't punched those, then the Kings would be in the position of being at the stage where they're
They would have
scaling
super
Aphis
eco.
and punching out.
That's
Yep.
King of
And
the
that's
Hill.
the thing where the balance gives either side the opportunity to win, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee a result one way or the other. It really comes down to the way that the teams organize and play the game. When the peasants
Until
get
your
this
funds
aggressive,
base goes down.
it gets real challenging for the Kings to hold in every single position. But if they only push in one spot, then the Kings can rally, hold them off, recoup, and then start re-establishing themselves and go again. Whereas when you hit them real hard in multiple locations at that 10-minute mark, it can be incredibly challenging to try and come back from that stage.
And it does look like the last bastions of survival are starting to break now, as we do have a comm coming in. Rob the Madman is going for yet another strike into enemy territory. Is being seen though, the Twin Guards are on him, but that detonation gets the build power, so that's going to be essentially all she wrote for Watch Behind. And there goes the Aphis for Hot Potato, and Hot Potato's comm as well. This has been an absolute overwhelming force, and again, the thing which is interesting about this one is that it just came down to the fact that there were enough peasants getting aggressive.
Well, looking at last week compared to this week, there were roughly 5 times more units out of the peasants at the 10-minute mark. That's what does it. People listen. Units are the meta for the peasants.
For both
Game
sides,
over.
really. If they walked into a reasonable sized army at the bottom of the ramp that could have had a retreating fight, there wouldn't have been anywhere near as many units make it into the middle, if any.
And again, looking at this damage dealt graph,
So much
I
money.
don't even think I can count it this time. So many peasants dealt damage,
That is a
basically
lot of
right
blue.
on that 10 to 14 minute mark. There is so many peasants that dealt damage here.
I wish you could zoom in on these graphs. Maybe that's something we can ask to be implemented.
When there's that much blue at that 10-minute mark, it starts to get difficult for the peasants to lose. However, if you don't see any, then the Kings will basically roll on through.
Can you just go to the metal produce graph, Pradith? I just want to show out the point of co-op eco in the corner. If you look on the very
Yeah, sure.
left at about the 3-minute mark, you can see there's a blue line ahead of all of the red lines for the metal produced.
Yep.
Commander,
And that is the power of co-op ecoing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick the next one off.
That's what happens these short games. It's brilliant. We're getting in 2 more games this week than last week. This will probably be the last one. Then we'll head over to an after party. All right, 9 more kings. And then we'll go up to 55s now.
55s it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your opportunity to jump into the King's Lane if you want to. If you're a fresh face in there, you're going to get the 55 bonus. If not, then however many 45s are left will be bumped to 50 in order to to 55 in order to fill out the numbers. So if you are fresh and you want to play, you are more than welcome. But doesn't look like anyone else is jumping down there, so looks like these guys are getting the 55. Rosie and Platinum, you are also requalified for the 55 as well because of the loss.
Platinum's not there anymore.
He's not.
All right, how many we got? We got 62, so slightly less peasants than last game.
But if the peasants get aggressive again, it probably won't be enough of a difference. Again, just a reminder, things that defend incredibly well against T1. Pounders. Pounders are really good.
Welders,
Pop-up
Jaguars.
turrets. Pop-up turrets very good. Jags are pretty good. Mammoths are pretty good. What else is there?
Ticks.
Mines, ticks, rascals.
Bam. Pork.
All of these are quite good. And in particular, the player that's in the middle of the map, even though you want to be running as much eco as you possibly can, being reactive at the 10-minute mark to patch gaps and then going back into economy can sometimes be more beneficial for the team than just continuing the eco. Let's make sure that there's nobody
alive. You can fight again. If you die because you're building eco rather than units, then bad luck, basically.
Yeah. All right, let's kick this one off, I think.
Just got these last couple of players. We'll give them a sec because they've just finished downloading, I think it was. But if they're not readying up in the next sort of 5 to 10 seconds, we are gonna start specking people.
Saffron, I'm not sure if you're listening in, if you're listening to the stream or not, but you asked if anyone here has an interesting job. I'm a guinea pig farmer.
Oh, you talk so much shit.
You couldn't even let me have that one for like a couple of minutes.
Hey, I've seen him feeding corn to animals, so you know.
I'm pretty sure giving your dog the leftover, like the empty corn on the cob, does not count as feeding animals corn. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's kick this one off.
Who is left? There we go.
There we go.
I'm surprised that she eats the entire thing so that there's not even a crumb left. Not just the leftover corn kernels around the outside.
Does, Tom. I'm pretty sure she tears it apart. And we find bits and pieces of it dried out over time.
Once again, guys, if you like what you see, hit that follow button on both the official and the AllReasonNoLogic Twitches, and then hit that subscribe on the YouTube. We release the best game from each week, or maybe not the best, maybe the most entertaining game from each week as a replay the following week. Every now and then, Winter Gaming gets the good ones as well. Check them out.
Also, it's not just the best game.
Welcome,
We don't just
Commander.
release the best games on YouTube, like as in the best one from the night. No. Our videos are the best videos on YouTube every week.
Yeah, don't worry about Mr. Beast. Haven't you heard of AllReasonNoLogic? Once again, talking crap. Do you have one of those little teasers, Pro? I might click another one while we wait for this to start.
Her Woofsel. If you are interested in playing, you can just jump onto the Beyond All Reason website and download it. It is free to play. So if you've just found it and you want to play it, you are more than welcome. It does tend to slow down in big games like this one, depending on your hardware, but the normal sort of games, which is up to 16 players total, I don't think it slows down much at all for most hardware. 2 pumps. Good day, 2 pumps. 7 million % damage efficiency. Essentially, they would have taken a tiny bit of splash damage on something and then dealt a lot of damage. That's how you get those big numbers there. So, Beyond All Reason is community developed, which means that things like the playability on Linux does seem to be a priority for some of the people working on it. So it's very nice that does flow through into the community as well. Me personally, I can't wait until SteamOS is very much so as available as Windows and as usable as Windows. And that we can all switch over to that. That'll be very nice time, and then that Linux functionality will be very, very nice to have.
Alright, kicking this one off.
Battle started.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to King of the Hill on Raptor Crater. You're catching us for the last game of the night. And joining us in the middle of the map is quite a strong team of Kings, though they've had a few defeats in the lead up to this. The Peasants have been on the aggression tonight. Joining me in the casting booth is Tank Tom and Twig. Just a quick heads up for anyone that is watching, Twig's been doing a lot of streaming over on Twitch, so if you enjoy his content, do feel free to jump on in. He's had 2 7-win streaks, and I believe he said a 14-win streak recently.
12. Don't go ahead
12.
yourself.
Oh, 12. So much different than 14.
The 14's
So if
coming
you're
up this
interested
week.
in watching those ones, do jump on and join him. He's also more than happy to play with quite a lot of people that jump into the Discord as well. Now, for those of you wondering, I've recently taken up guinea pig farming, and let's get into this one properly. So, Twig.
Yeah, I'll have to come and buy a guinea pig for my daughter sometime soon. She's old enough to look after one. Rosie in the fridge, in the middle. Are they going to come eco like we see out of Rosie and Platinum Blonde? They've kind of got their base set up so that's the case, but we don't know. Maybe they're in Discord, maybe they're not. Now, last game I was going for the Peasants because the Kings were on such a win streak with a couple particular players. Now, not sure who's going to win this. Don't really care who's going to win this. My vote's that everyone has fun, but there is a prediction going on in the AllReasonNoLogic Twitch. Who's going to win? Don't know.
Does look like the first T2 factory is going to be coming out of the bottom left-hand side of the map, out of Jaleo. There is quite a lot of co-op eco going on in this corner, and it does look like this might be a bit of a repeat of the previous game, where we have one heavy co-op corner, and then... Oh, actually, I was going to say 3 without, but it looks like it's going to be 2 with less and another one with, but no extra comms to make this one that little bit cheaper still, even with only 2 players going for it. or 2 or 3 players going for it, it can still make a nice big difference. The game is balanced around 2 of those corners, remembering that co-op eco does exist.
Commander
In the
self-destructed.
Twitch chat, we said, "Is this free for all?" No, it's not. This is King of the Hill. This is where we have 9 in this case on Raptor Creator. 9 kings with a bonus 55% this game against, how many have we got? 67
Commander,
enemies,
I do believe it
67
was
peasants.
69 at the start.
Perfect number.
Yes.
I believe.
Commander
And just so you know
self-destructed.
how it works, there is a 10-minute no rush
Commander
timer. The
self-destructed.
lava denotes where you can and can't go. Very nice lava. We haven't thanked Chronographer for a while, so I might throw that one out there. And you essentially have
Commander
bonuses for the
self-destructed.
players in the middle of the map and a couple of restrictions, things like we've turned off air, we've turned off nukes, similar things to that. It just means that the gameplay is focused around units and it's focused around winning those lanes. It's very hard to push up and through one of these lanes, but once you are through, you can spread out quite nicely and do quite a good job. Usually we see a pretty good mix of peasant wins and king wins, but there are certain strategies that have dominated the meta recently. Right now we're seeing the peasants getting very aggressive, and the kings haven't yet worked out how to fully deal with that. They're used to that little bit of extra time, and so they've been quite greedy of late, and the peasants have jumped in on that one to take advantage. In the lead up to that, though, we've also seen some incredibly strong pushes out of the Kings. Razorbacks and Vanguards have been the play of the day, and before that I do believe it was Karganeths and Demons. So hopefully we will see the continuation of the meta evolving.
And if you want to play as a king, don't be shy. Jump in there. You get a bonus. Just watch a video or 2 of ours. We've actually got a couple of tutorials, one for Claymore, one or two for Raptor Creator, that show a basic build order that will get you to defend. There is one of them, which I've done with Tom and I think it was Pormont. The 60+ Centurion push into a single king and how to defend that. And the answer is don't over eco. You want to get about 2 fusions up, maybe 1, and just go into units for the last couple of minutes. Also make sure, of course, you have your radars, your pork up, all your mechs is upgraded, and then I like to have 2 bot labs spamming out units. If I'm Armada, if I'm Cortex, I'll go the vehicle lab into the Rascals so that I get that cheap spam.
If you want to find out whether or not you will cut the mustard as a king, then the simplest way to do it is just to boot up your own Raptors lobby with an inactive AI, give yourself a plus 50% bonus, and if you can get your first fusion between the 7 and 8 minute mark, then you are well on your way to being good enough.
And remember, in the, I think it's the extras tab, to turn on the you get the bonus starting resources as well.
I'll just bring that up on my screen if this makes the cut. You just go into the advanced options here over to, is it cheats? And then apply bonus to starting resources. So yeah, if you have a 50% bonus, instead of that starting metal being 1,000, etc. for energy, you'll get 1,500 in each.
And it makes a pretty big difference. You can, however, with a plus 50% bonus, get to that fusion between 7 and 8 minutes without it. It is just... however you test it, you'll either find it easier or harder when it comes to the actual match. Wind can be a bit of a factor, but the reality is that if you're playing very well, you can get the first fusion very close to the 7 minute mark. If you're being slowed down by the wind, then it is closer to that 8. But that's the basic benchmark, and the things that you want to have by the 10 minute marks, you want to have a layer of defense, you want to have a level of you want to have the ability to produce units so that you can help other lanes if need be, and you want to have the ability to scale if you are if you're going to be going for a late game push, or you want to have the units to push out. All of those things are quite useful.
Really interesting defensive line coming up here for the fridge in the bottom right. It's gone into a whole bunch of Castros, and then got both Cortex and Armada going into Beamers. Oh, they're sorry. I thought they were Beamers. They're the
No, they're
the Wardens.
Self-destructed.
Yep. So that's
quite
it's
the
an
defensive
interesting.
line.
It's also an interesting orientation, putting them behind the Castros. One thing that concerns me greatly is that this does leave some pretty severe pathways that can be
Yes.
exploited. Going around this sort of defense is usually what you want to do. If you see something like this, just skip it, because then you can either circle around and get them, or you can continue on into the other player, because if you're not controlling your lanes, it is problematic.
Yeah, it's not
Looks like we
uncommon
have a...
for those units to then start flowing across
Yes.
into other units. Let me put that
Oh,
in
there we
There
go.
we go,
No, he
Yaz.
stopped building
Just
it,
listen.
so good to go.
Just feel free to reclaim it. I will post the rules again.
Yep.
For the people.
So one of the things that we don't allow is the use of offensive structures. So they are needed for defense, but be mindful of where you put them. Defensive structures, because they have no movement, they usually are more efficient than units. We've found that if they're allowed to be put on these cliffs, they completely shut down the outside area of the map. And if you shut down the outside area of the map, then you end up... Then the peasants have complete free reign to move around and attack anywhere. Wow, thank you, Hawuzi, for
wow.
the 10 gifted subs in the official. That is all money that's going to go straight to the developers of the game, because they get everything that comes out of the official. So that is absolutely fantastic. Thank you for doing that. It is, as I said before, this game is completely community built and run, which means that every little bit like that makes a nice big difference. The fact that we're streaming on the main gives the ad revenue to them. So what a fantastic thing you've just done there. So thank you very much.
I will definitely let the devs know that came through from you here at Oazel during the stream.
These are gonna be very tight for the Kings and having enough
15
units.
15 seconds left. Zooming out, selecting all. I mean, there are a lot of units out of the Kings, but there are 600 units again. 600 units on the field. So this is a unit-heavy night.
All lanes are defended, unlike last time, and we're seeing the tech that is quite good for this, which includes mines. But again, one of the more weakly defended lanes is getting the strongest corner. With the 10-minute mark, we do have those attacks on it. It does look like the first wave is coming in, but not as coordinated as last time. The ticks have gone in way early, which means they're not going to be soaking those shots. Arbiter's on the high ground. That's disgusting for 10 minutes. I foresee a few of these players having a bit of trouble here. Does look like all the defenses in front of the fringe not quite up in time on this right-hand lane, but plenty to push through. Top left side does look like the Fat Boy has managed to break through Perplexia and is making their way through. This is not ideal, to be honest. No units being produced, just a fusion coming up. This is a fusion after the 10-minute mark as well.
There are some sharpshooters in the background there, but they're not walking in with this Fat Boy. That's what you really want, all units committing at the same time. We do have ticks coming out of Faust at the back left there in their eco position. It's good to see the support there. The ticks are actually the ones that are most likely to make it all the way into the base. If they can just avoid the units. Fortunately for Big Ugly Bear, running low on energy there. Those welders not doing too good.
Ortab and as well as Cup of Coffee really need to start helping over here, otherwise it is going to be a massive problem. These units are thankfully getting mostly cleaned up. That Fat Boy is going to be a big problem though if it gets a lot of shots on those Jaguars. Not so good. Interesting thing just here with this fight, the Jaguars versus the Welders. It's my understanding that lightning does less damage to lightning units, so that's just a little tidbit there.
Is that a thing? I didn't even know that.
I've been told that Jaguars and Welders take less damage from each other. So
well, big push into Rob's base there, doing exactly what you said don't do. Just go around the base, but one pawn almost making it through. Sorry, that was...
Defense is doing a great job here, and more of them coming up as we go. So this is going to hold just fine.
Has managed to get some units in, and they are likely to get to that conversion.
Oh wow,
They're being
Ticks
eaten
gets
right
the
now,
first.
but that is T1 conversion, which means it is almost certainly going to go down.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
yep.
want to keep an eye right on the middle of the map, Prater, without saying
I've
something too
been
much.
keeping an eye on those ones, and if they spot anything particularly relevant, that could be devastating.
Commander
Huge push on this
destroyed.
bottom left side here now. Those
Yeah,
units,
that bottom left-hand side just getting overwhelmed.
the peasants did a great job at the start. They pushed, found units, held back most of what they had, and this is the result of that now. They coordinated themselves and they've come through in one massive push all at once, rather than trickling those units in one at a time and losing them in chunks of 10 to 20. And you can see this is pulling responses from most of the kings at this stage. Top right is coming down to try and help support,
But
or at least
top
stop
right
this.
can't afford to be coming down to help right now because they're fighting aggravators and arbiters.
Oh no,
And
Rosie's base.
oh
It's
no!
Lessons were
Stealth
not learnt.
tanks.
Well, not learnt from last game. You've got to separate your build power so you can build it fast.
That is
Yeah, man.
rough right there.
And
And
more
this
stealth
is
tanks over in Orat's base as well on the left.
so just a quick note: if you're up against the sort of thing that happened in this top right-hand corner, arbiters and rocketeers, ticks, just throw ticks at the problem. It'll be fine.
More units is generally the answer at this stage of the game.
Yeah.
If you can have more units just flying around, things like if you can have some spam lines weaving backwards and forwards, they can do things like catching stealth tanks or make it much more difficult for them to move through. If you've got armies massing, then it means that the space for leaks to squeeze past is significantly reduced compared to a couple of defenses that once they're broken, they don't have to worry about them anymore. An army can move to where it needs to be.
Something which is also potentially worth picking up on. A lot of the lanes that have less well-known players have had a lot of trouble holding tonight, and I think a few of the peasants have identified that and used radars and color matching for the to determine which ramp to send units down, which is certainly a interesting way of dealing with things, and it is a very effective one because it is rough to try and defend this when you're reasonably new. It does take a little bit of time and practice to get into the position where you can scale, where you can defend, where you can get on the offensive all at once. And even if you just don't play a lot of bar, it can be quite hard, like what happened to me in the first game where I just lost all of my units to self-damage. It is, there's a lot to
in
manage
Rosie's
every now and
base
then.
now. Bulls just chuck so much HP behind their fire as well. Like they take so long to kill, do a lot of damage. Oh, hang on, they're hot potatoes balls. They're defensive balls. My bad. Hot potato on the opposite side of the map. I like to see a player going and helping out other lanes that are struggling.
Just want to give a massive shout out to Dark 2 of Mojos. Thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 subs as well tonight. Absolutely everyone is supporting the bar community, so massive thanks there as well. We appreciate it because it's a game that we love, and the devs appreciate it just as much, if not more, because it does go towards what they need. It goes towards the game, so thank you very much for those.
The Fringes commander going down, and now we got more stealth tanks just on the edge of Rosie's base. If that Razorback doesn't come out soon, it could be a big problem. Build power.
Unfortunately,
coming
the
back
build
up,
power
so-
currently is on the build turrets, which is not exactly where it needs to be. And now the ticks are on the build turrets, and they're not even going to get that Razorback out.
I am sure as well the bonus is definitely high enough for this. This is only 10% less than the previous update where we would see the Kings win most games at 65%.
I'm just proud of the peasants. All of the aggression.
they're doing what they
non-stop.
should.
Fantastic aggression throughout the night this evening.
Yeah, we are very impressed. And guys, lots of action in these games. Remember to jump over to the AllReasonNoLogic's Twitch and YouTube as well as our Discord, and hit those follow buttons so that you can see these games weekly. Raise his base, going boom, as they are out of the game now.
We've modified those T2 build towers so that they can chain rack the same as T1.
Which is super nice. Unlike a T1 where you just have to destroy one, you do need to destroy two. But I think that is quite fair for them being T1 versus T2 turrets.
These few kings left doing well to hold at their rear, but there is just too much blue on the map right now. I do love that the fringe's front line is still intact. That is a very substantially hold. If the kings had that all the way around the map, I think we'd be seeing a long game.
But that's the thing, you have to choose whether you do something like that or not, and he didn't have...
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. You basically have to commit to what you're going to invest into, and then hope it was the right choice. There's a number of viable options, but not everyone is the best option for what you end up against, and you don't know what you're up against until 10 minutes.
I also think the Kings are going to take a bit of time to reflect on this one for next week, because I don't think we've seen in 3 games in a row. I don't think we've seen this many units in a long time.
Is the main takeaway for the Kings to basically build less eco and more units for that 10-minute rush?
What's that, Tom?
Is the takeaway for the Kings to potentially forego that
eco.
extra fusion to have?
Oh,
I wouldn't
100%.
say less eco. I would say ensuring your build has enough to quickly transition into units for defense.
Well, that's it. You
Because-
build one less fusion, in my opinion. Build your units and then go back to that fusion just as the 10-minute rush is approaching, knowing that you've already got all the units you need to defend your lane. And you can stop building that fusion and focus on spam or something if you need to. Alright.
And again, looking at that damage dealt graph, look at the density of blue. That's just... that is impressive. We don't normally get to see that, so fantastic job at Peasants. Also, if you look at the power of co-op eco, we have one peasant that ruled them all. That is the power of many, many peasants all in one corner working together, and then they put those units into the field and through the front lines. So very nicely done. Quick look at those stats. We do have, as far as the metal produced, 1.7 million for the peasants and 600,000 for the kings, and this is one of the reasons why the peasants can get away with this many units early on. But a lot of that does get chucked into essentially creating multiple levels of the same stuff. But damage dealt also, total of 1.45 for the peasants and 1.85 million for the kings. So the kings definitely held their own with the lesser of the two economies. But congratulations to the peasants. You've done a very good job getting the aggression on tonight, and hopefully the kings will have a reaction to that tomorrow. Or next week.
Right. So we're back up to 5 king victories and 6 peasant wins after tonight. I think I got those totals right. I might have missed one of the peasants' victories, but either way, keeping track of those. It's looking a bit more even again now. I've just posted the AllReasonNoLogic links in the official if you guys want to come and follow us. And I'm not sure if they actually show up as links. But either way, search AllReasonNoLogic, you'll find us.
And on that, that's going to be it for us tonight. Thanks everybody for joining. Like, comment, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you enjoyed this and you are on the official, please do head over to AllReasonNoLogic and chuck us a follow. That would be greatly appreciated. Twig does stream reasonably often and is particularly good at the game. Tank Tom and I at the moment are a little bit more hands-off with the community because we've just started a new business, but hopefully we'll be back to it sooner rather than later. Thanks everyone for
All right.
joining us tonight. Thanks everyone for playing with us tonight. And Kings, the challenge is on next week. You need to plot out your revenge.
Now the after party guys just mentioned in chat. Do you have a map that you'd like? I'm just gonna simply Tom, if you could just clear the tweaks, and I'm just gonna turn the auto balance to advance so that there's an even split in teams, and we will have an after party game that we'll leave you guys with.
All right. Noot, everybody. I'm going to pop the stream on the ending screen. If there is a mod here to raid, which I don't think there is, then please do feel free to raid someone in the bar community. The end credits will run for about 5 minutes, and then the stream will end. So thanks everyone for joining us.
This is way too small a map, but this is what you got. I'm going to make the default boxes a little bigger though. Now, Tom, are we able to take those tweaks out? I don't know. For the height maps. Or has Tom left?
No, I am in the process of doing it all, and they should all be gone now.
Awesome. All right, guys, I'll be able to kick you off, and then that'll be it from us. And I'm going to do a raid over to someone else. I think 2 pumps has been in this chat, so it'll be 2 pumps. All right, guys. Pray you're all good. I'm going to sign this one out, and we'll do the raid.
I'm just going to go through and remove all those bonuses before we leave into it.
And apologies, we can't give anyone boss because we aren't mods. In event mode, only PTAC has that ability in here. Even though Praetor's name's green, it's not aesthetic.
There we go.
All right. Let's go. Unfortunately, guys, I don't have Kane as a friend on Twitch. If they want to follow us and join the community, more than happy to. All right. Thanks again, guys. Also, I just don't know who Kane is. Sorry. Till next time. Catch you guys later.